Hey, good afternoon. This is Larry Berger right here on the YouTube channel. I'm just going to move my video screen over a little bit so I can talk to you a little bit. So today we're going to talk about what can a better interest rate do for you. A lot of folks are looking around right now, very low inventory in the housing market, just really difficult times. I'm talking to a lot of real estate agents lately, and gosh, it just seems like many of them are just kind of taking a look at what they can do to not only increase inventory, but to help borrowers increase their buying power. Sometimes people think, well, you know what? Let's do something. Let's wait until the rates go back down and then we'll buy a house because we'll be able to afford it. But how many of you remember about 2 years ago when the rates began to drop precipitously and finally bottomed out somewhere around 2.75 or 3%? What happened to the house prices? So the person who was looking at a house back then and saying, yeah, 350,000 might be a little bit hard to afford. And then all of a sudden they're going, but when the rates come back down, we'll be able to afford it, right? Because right now that payment's going to be too high. Well, you know what happened when the rates dropped, the price on that $350,000 house went up to 400 and a quarter, maybe 450. Suddenly that interest rate of 3.5% was not going to get you that house that you wanted in the first place because inventory was massive. There were so many houses on the market and houses were flying off for 30, 50, 75, and even I saw one that was $100,000 over list price, over the asking price. And so it was just insane. So you think, oh, well, when the rates come back down, the market will get better and we'll be able to afford that house. That's not how it works. And so one of the things that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're working with a reputable lender that's going to educate you on the process. And again, I just posted a Facebook post today for those of you who are watching who know me. I've got Larry Berger Empire Home Loans page. I've also got my personal page. And I just locked a 24-year-old single woman who is a first-time home buyer on a conventional mortgage, 15% down at 5.99% interest. That is phenomenal. And so essentially, the reason I say that, and her APR was 6.541. So I say that to say most people right now are looking at rates around 7% or better. So right now, today, I just looked it up before I started this video. The average APR for a 30-year mortgage loan is 7.07%. And the average APR for a 15-year mortgage loan is 6.45. So again, you can get decent rates with a broker like myself. And so I'll do that real quick. I'll explain the difference between me as a broker and maybe a retail lender. And I won't name any retail lenders, but you can imagine retail lenders have a lot of things that they have to pay for, like giant brick and mortar buildings and things like that, and giant PUD bills and lots of people out in the front in the lobby and things like that. So retail lenders are kind of like Burger King. And so you go into Burger King and you can order Whoppers and Whoppers with cheese and Whopper Juniors and all kinds of things because that's what's on their menu. They have a menu, but you cannot go into Burger King and order a Big Mac, and you can't order a Jumbo Jack or anything like that, right? Because that's not on their menu. If you said, I want that, they're going to say, well, we're going to have to go outside and get that. We're going to have to leave here and we're going to have to go somewhere else. Well, I'm a broker. So I'm kind of like the food court at the mall. Have you ever been to one of those really big malls and you walk into the food court and there's like 50 or 60 different restaurants to choose from? Well, that's kind of how I am. So what I get to do is I get to take your loan scenario and I get to shop it with dozens of different lenders, right? Because there's some lenders that are just really good at land and home packages, and there's some lenders that are really good at manufactured homes, and I do those, or just buying land only, or commercial investment, or investment properties. And so I have the ability to look all over the place and get great rates. So this is this is just by way of explaining. I want to just kind of break some numbers down for you. So I ran some numbers at 7.25% interest with 20% down on a $500,000 house. You're going to have a payment of roughly $3,250. Okay. Now, I want to take that same $500,000 house, or that same $3,250 a month payment, because if your DTI supports it and you can afford $3,250 a month at 5.99% interest, suddenly your buying power goes up to 575,000. So if you go to take a look online and you're looking at houses and you go on to, say, that website that starts with a Z, and it talks about, what is the maximum, and you put that maximum at 500,000, make a note in whatever zip code you decide to search in, make a note of how many homes are available at that price at $500,000. Then go back in and change your filter to $575,000 and make a note of how many more homes are available at 575 versus 500, because now the inventory is increased. So realtors who are watching this video would think to themselves, there's not enough inventory out there for my borrowers who are at 350 or 400 or $450,000. And you're probably right. Maybe there's only 5 or 6 houses that even fit what they're looking for, right? Because you've already figured out what they want. How many bedrooms, how many baths, do they want fencing and yards and all that stuff? But at the end of the day, if you're able to hook your buyer, your potential buyer, up with a lender like myself, with a broker who's able to get them a better interest rate, better terms, and save them money on their closing costs, wouldn't that be better for everybody? Isn't that a win-win situation? So that's all I'm trying to do here, folks. Larry Berger, Empire Home Loans, is I'm trying to create a win for anybody who's really considering going out and purchasing a home. And the question is always, when's a good time to buy a home? I'll tell you, according to just about everybody, right now is a good time to buy a home. Because while you may think 5.99 or even 6.5% is a terrible interest rate, I talk to people all the time who are 12%, 13%. And they talk about, man, I remember when we bought our home 15 years ago and it was 13.99%. And that was, they thought that was a gift. I remember when, and I can't remember what year it was, but there was a big announcement that rates were finally down to 9.99%. Oh my goodness, the market went nuts. Everybody just went crazy. 9.99%. Wow. People rushed out and bought houses as fast as they could at 9.99%. Here's the other thing. And here's one of the things that I always educate my borrowers on. One of the important things to remember is that today we can get you something in that 6 or 6.5% range, or maybe even a little bit lower. But sometimes that's going to cost what are called discount points. Now, if you have to use discount points to get a little bit better rate, I don't mind, and I might let you do that. That's up to you. You can twist my arm and make me do anything you want. I'm just here to give you options. But you can't really spend more than 3% of the value of the home that you're buying on buy downs and discount points and things like that. And so I want you to keep in mind that we always look for those rates to improve. We're looking for rates to go back down into the 4s. When will that happen? Will that happen next week? I don't know. It may happen next week, next month, next year. But the hope is that it's going to happen, right? So I don't want to see you spend a whole bunch of money right now trying to get an interest rate that you're going to want to refi out of anyway, right? Because when we get to the point where we're going to refi, there's going to be some closing costs, $4,000, $5,000, $7,000, $8,000 in closing costs. I would rather wait, get you a rate right now that you can live with, get you in the home, building equity, building wealth, creating a situation so that when those rates do drop, we'll go ahead and spend that money then, not now. Right. But again, you can talk me into doing it for you. It's just one of the options that I will offer every single customer that I talk to is let's take a look at this. Here's A, here's B. I want you to decide. That's not for me to decide. I can tell you what I think and I can give you my opinion, but I am just not going to tell you what to do. That's your option. So you decide what you want to do. As always, I'm available to answer questions. My website is www.burgerhomeloans.com. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and all those other things. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. For all of you real estate agents out there, just make sure that you're not steering and that you are giving your borrowers, your potential buyers, an opportunity to get some competitive bids on their lending. And those of you who are buyers, borrowers who are looking to buy, and even if you're looking to sell a home right now, just be careful out there. Make sure you get some competitive bids. And do I win every single time? No. I actually had a borrower the other day who decided they wanted to take a higher interest rate from a different lender so they didn't have to put as much money down. Um, and that's something that's available. That's an option. So what are you going to do? People want higher rates. They can get higher rates. That's up to you, right? Have a great day. It is, what day is it today? It's Thursday, the 31st of August. We're facing down Labor Day weekend. Happy Labor Day weekend to everybody. Try to enjoy yourselves. Monday is a holiday, so I'll probably not be available or open, but I just hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I will talk to you later.